This is the plaintiff, Eduardo Marucci. He says he and the defendant go way back to high school 20 years ago, but their relationship fell apart once they began living together. The guy stopped paying his share of the rent. Their landlord was going to evict them. He didn't want that on his record, so he moved out. The sheriff came after him for all the rent. He paid it out of his pocket and is now suing his one-time friend for $3,241.67, his portion of the rent. This is the defendant, Aaron Flood. He says the plaintiff was a complete dirty slob, leaving garbage all over the apartment they shared. The plaintiff was the one who stopped paying the rent to the landlord, so he stopped paying too. The plaintiff ended up keeping all of his belongings. He doesn't owe the guy any money and feels the judge will side with him. He's accused of running out on the rent.
All parties, please use your right hand. Be seated, come to please. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas. Eduardo Marucci, you're suing Aaron Flood,
Yes.
your former roommate, for $3,241.67, a portion of his back rent that you are going to owe the landlord because he was your roommate and left you high and dry. Talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, basically we lived together and we were both on the lease, and there came a point where Aaron stopped coming home and stopped paying his share. And
Okay. Where were you?
Well, I was working. I worked like about 12 hours.
Yeah, but you still got to come home.
Well, no, I did. I came home every night. It was just like I would come home late.
Okay.
That's
And then
only-
you'd leave early?
Well, I would leave every morning at 4 in the morning and get home every night around 10, 11 at night.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And basically, the landlord was calling saying what happened to Aaron. Aaron promised he was going to pay, you know, and I gave the landlord, once the first time the landlord accepted half of the rent from
Which
me.
was
my half.
what month?
It was July.
Okay. So in July, he accepts half the rent. And
Yeah.
then what happens in July? Do you pay rent in July?
Well, we were supposed to pay. The lease ended, I believe, around June. We were on I believe it was like a month-to-month. And then once the lease ended, then I had to leave because I was traveling all the time for work to the city. So I moved into the city, and based off then, I was just coming, back and forth to the house.
Did you hear my question? What was my question? You can't say it because you want to say what you want to say instead of answering me. Did you pay July rent?
I don't quite remember. I know we were supposed to pay half and half. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I know at that time.
So what happened? When did you stop paying rent and why?
When we both, it came to like a both mutual thing. He wasn't paying, I wasn't paying. We both got into like an argument, like a verbal altercation, whatnot. He owes this, I owe that, and so neither of us paid. So neither of us paid for 3 months or.
Both of you lived there without paying for 3 months?
Correct. And then the landlord then had a subpoena. He came to us, asked for $3,200, the entirety of the rent.
A subpoena or a lawsuit?
It was a subpoena. I guess it was a lawsuit. It was just to get us out of the property because there was nothing like legally binding us to the apartment.
Of course there is.
Well, after the lease ended.
Yeah, it's called the law.
Okay,
and it's called a
understand.
month-to-month tenancy when you overstay a lease. And it's of course there's something binding you there. You think you can just nail the landlord and stay there as long as you want? Woohoo!
No, of course not.
Okay, well then what would make you think? How old are you?
27.
How old are you?
29.
What would make anybody think that there's not going to be a piper to pay at some point?
Well,
yeah, some landlords might say, I don't even want to chase these two idiots. Let me just move on with my life. This one apparently didn't. According to you, you were suing for $3,241.67 because that's his half of what you say the landlord is demanding.
Yes.
All right. Now, how is the landlord demanding this, and why is the landlord able to get you and not him, or he doesn't care, he can get you, so he...
It's both of us.
Well, yeah. Are you both on the lease?
Yes.
Yes. You said no.
Well, for the period, correct, for the year.
Right. And then you already admitted that you both stayed there until you guys left. When did you leave? So you're on the lease and you're in the month-to-month. That until you do something to break by sending a formal notice to your landlord saying I'm leaving, that's what you're going to owe. So, but now when do you leave? What month?
Well, the lease ended. I believe it was June or July. I'm just not quite sure when the lease ended. When that ended, and that's when I stopped going to the apartment.
We don't commit these details in memory when it doesn't cost us anything to have free storage. Were you sleeping there even in July and August and all that?
No.
Where were you sleeping?
I was in Brooklyn. I stayed month to month, and now I permanently live over there.
So why didn't you just move all your stuff over there?
I had no time to go to my house or to grab all my stuff.
What do you do?
I'm a construction manager.
Now, according to you, did the landlord file a case against you?
Yes.
Okay. And what are the results of that case, or is it still pending?
It's completely done. I paid everything off, meaning I paid off Aaron's share as well as my own. I have receipts for all of that.
All right, so what did you pay?
Well, there was interest accrued for every day. It was 39 cents. And considering I got behind because...
Just tell me what you paid.
It was like $3,266 at the end of it all.
Your lawsuit is for $3,241.67.
Yes.
So according to you, the landlord was suing for double that, right?
Double minus interest, of course. So, yes,
double plus
that.
interest.
Well, the time passed during this whole time, and that it was originally like, basically, all right,
How
I
much
paid...
look, these are not complicated questions. How much did the landlord sue you for? Did he file a lawsuit, or you just negotiated it?
No, he filed a
Filed
suit.
a lawsuit.
It was
How much is this
like
total?
$5,000 and change.
No, not like. Look at your paperwork.
Let's see what
It's in his pocket. He doesn't reach back to get it.
I'm sorry. $4,535.
Oh, that's very different from 6,400 and something or 5,000 something.
Yeah.
See, when you're suing for 3,241, you're telling me that's his half. Half means that you're being sued for 6,400 and some odd. Now, how much are you actually being sued for?
$4,535.
So why wouldn't you sue for half of that here? Why are you trying to make money?
Because it's not making money. It's the interest accrued that was all on the portion that he owed, because I was up to date on my portion.
Show me the settlement paperwork. And now, what did you end up doing? Did you move his stuff?
Yeah, because we were going to get evicted. So I had to clear out the whole apartment. The landlord kept requesting that we move out so that he doesn't have to call the sheriffs and have the sheriffs remove everything and then have a big bill for that.
Right.
So what I did was start moving all our stuff out. And since Aaron never came home, he would be gone for like a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time. Sometimes he came home nightly, but other times he'd be gone for a week or two. Every time me and the landlord texted him, there was no responses. So
Okay.
what else was I going to do? Get stuck with a bill for all the stuff that was left there?
So what'd you do with the stuff? Did you just get rid of it, or did
No, I put it all in storage at a friend's house. I had a friend help
So
me
you didn't have to pay storage. And then what happened? That stayed at the friend's house?
until for months, and I never heard from Aaron back.
So
and
where's
then
your stuff? Like what? You never bothered to? So it sounds
no,
like you
I-
weren't spending nights
He
there
never
because
bothered.
No, well, the reason is that when I came home one day, I saw half of my stuff were all outside. He sold a bunch of my my couch, my table to one of my buddies who lived in another
Wait,
town.
your
over.
buddy bought your table from
Nothing
him?
was sold.
Well,
Nothing was sold.
You helped him move it into his place in the Bronx.
So it was given? Go ahead.
Given or sold, but yeah, I went there and I looked at my buddy's house and I saw my couch there.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So why do good friends who know each other for years and years and years hate each other when they move in together?
They can't put up with each other's stuff. They just don't know how to handle one thing from another.
Yeah, but they've known each other forever.
I think some people just have different ways of organizing themselves, and then when they're both in the same space, it just all gets screwed up, and resentment just builds up over time, and then they just...
So you should never move in with a friend.
I don't know, it's pretty risky. Unless, like, I don't know.
So it's true that familiarity breeds contempt, right? I guess that really is true going inside the courtroom.
What do you think is going to happen when people can't reach you?
Well, no. After I saw the majority of the important stuff that was outside and got wet, I was very frustrated and annoyed. I'm working. I'm not going to let that impact or.
Well, no,
I
that's
wasn't- 'cause
great,
I
but
wasn't-
what do you expect to have happen if you
No, I
can't be
understand.
reached?
No, I
Okay.
understand what
all
was
right,
happening.
all right, good. How much was your rent?
It was a 640 roughly.
Do you have the actual lawsuit that he filed against you? That'll give me the answer I'm looking for. I'm trying to figure out what's included in that.
Isn't it on that dirty-looking sheet over there?
Oh, well, hold on. Allow me. Okay.
If you read, if you do me a favor and just read.
This one? Well, they're all dirty. This
Yeah, I
one?
know.
This
They're
one's
all-
the dirtiest.
yes, that one.
What the hell did you do? Did you run over it with a car? It's mold?
It must have
I'm like,
gotten
give me
wet.
gloves. I
I'm
can't
so
even touch
sorry
this
about
thing.
that.
Ugh. It must have what?
Yeah. It got wet, obviously.
And what, is growing mold?
I guess.
That basically sums up our apartment.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
How come? Because you were never there to clean?
Well, the
That's the
apartment.
reason why I decided not to stay there.
The apartment, obviously, it was a basement apartment, and it did
was gross?
hold some moisture. It wasn't that gross, but
I don't know.
believe
Even
me,
your
I wasn't
paperwork
the
is
only
gross.
slob there. I mean, it was definitely pretty mutual, and I found that out while cleaning
Okay, hold
people's
on.
rooms, so it's all right.
Okay, how much was the rent? $635 each?
Each per month.
I got it. So this is giving me my answer. He's suing for the amount that you got sued for included the August rent which was completely his portion. You don't need to pay half of that because you paid your half. And September is when you stopped paying.
Sure.
I know this because there's a lawsuit, and he's actually itemizing what he's suing for.
Sure.
So
Now, I totally understand what you're doing as far as adding that up. The only question I have is about interest, because since I was prevented to paying it, it messed up a lot of things with what was going on. So I felt...
I don't know what that means. Did you pay the landlord interest or no?
Yeah.
You just mean you resent that you had to pay the whole thing and then come after him.
Yeah.
Right, I don't blame you. And so we have a remedy for that in the law. Let me put down your paperwork so I can take off my gloves. We have a remedy in the law for that, and it's called prejudgment statutory interest, okay? So from the day you paid the landlord, which appears from the paperwork to be...
It was paid in installments.
You paid $1,950 on June 7th of 2016. You paid $1,600 on February of 2017. And you paid $1,668.39 on April 17th. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
All right. That's a total of $5,218.39.
Right.
Okay. So what he should be paying you is half of that plus the interest for you having been paying portion by portion.
I understand that. Thank you, because it was complicated for me, too.
No, it's complicated.
I needed you
it's
to figure
complicated.
that out.
I make it look easy, but this stuff is hard.
We needed you to figure this out,
That's
honestly.
right.
This is what you do.
Yeah.
Me and Aaron are busy doing construction.
Oh, yeah, and I'm just here doing God's work. All right.
That is so true. You are.
It's $2,609.19. That's half of the figure that you paid out to the landlord. Plus, someone else, staff, is going to calculate, all right, because I'm not going to sit here and do it. I have other cases piling up. All right, the interest that you should be paid for half of each of these payments that were half his responsibility to have paid, because
Sure,
that's what
of
you're
course,
out.
half.
That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you very much.
Well, in a rather involved case involving a lot of mathematics, the plaintiff prevails $2,600 and some dollars. I guess it's over then now, right? Are you still friendly with him or what?
Yeah, always. I don't hold any grudges. You know, people.
Okay, he sued you. You're not mad at him?
No, I just you know, for the amount, I just didn't want to, someone to pocket, any extra money from the landlord. But as long as everything is paid out right, I'm happy.
Okay, well, you got to pay it. Okay.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, good enough. And
Thank
be
you.
friends.
Yes.
All right, well, let's find out if the plaintiff is going to be friends. You amaze me. You were totally not prepared at all.
Oh,
you couldn't remember any payment. You couldn't remember anything. It was...
I mean, I got a lot of things going on in my life. I'm a busy guy. I'm all over the place.
No kidding. You put the judge to the test of trying to read your papers, and you ask you how much you paid. No, I don't know how much you paid. It was a circus. No kidding.
definitely
how do you
was.
feel about it? You did get some money back.
I'm happy. I hope justice will be served,
All right.
and I'm getting my money back, which means I'm breaking even.
Okay.
I'm happy.
Good enough.
I'm
Thank
very
you very
happy.
much.
My pleasure. Thank
Goodbye.
you very much.
Okay. Harvey?
Well, my advice, always make sure if a roommate gets behind in rent or expenses, call them on the carpet and get them to write something down and either make it right or end the relationship. The longer you let it build, the more it will be a disaster. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.